Unit 6 Manufacturing Industries. Today we are going to discuss about the manufacturing industries. What are the manufacturing industries? How are they important for a country's development? What is the criteria to discuss about a country's development? That can be understood in this chapter, because manufacturing industries play a vital role in the development of any country. So, first of all, what is manufacturing? Manufacturing is something which we produce on a very large scale. From where do we produce that one? From the raw materials available for us and make it a valuable product. So, manufacturing is a large unit of production which makes the production on a larger scale using the raw materials which are available for them, and they try to produce on a very large scale to build a valuable product from that. That is called manufacturing. So, the simple definition of manufacturing is production of large scale goods from the given raw materials to a very valuable product. That is called the manufacturing. So, our topic is concerned with manufacturing industries. As I told you, the definition of manufacturing: production of large scale goods from the raw materials to valuable products. When these products or these valuable goods are associated with industries, then it is coming as manufacturing industries. Industries are the places where you use the raw materials and make them into fine products. It is almost similar with the lines of manufacturing definition, where you manufacture in the large scale or in a larger amount the production from the raw materials. There they do the production for a stipulated purpose, for a designed product. They try to get the end product at a particular industry. For example, steel has to be made. If steel has to be made, that has to be derived from an industry. So the industry which is manufacturing steel is called steel manufacturing industry. So any manufacturing can be done. Today we are going to discuss about the industries which do manufacturing. Why we are discussing about only industries? We generally hear 2-3 types of industries: the basic industries, primary industries, secondary industries. The secondary industries play a very vital role in the development of any country. So in order to understand the development of the country, that country should have more number of manufacturing industries that automatically would give employment for more thousands of people. And when thousands of people get employed into the primary and the secondary sector of industries, moving from that basic occupations of agriculture, farming, shipping, all these insecure jobs to a secured systematic job procedure, then the development of the country also will be getting transformed from undeveloped country to a developed nation. In this way, we are going to discuss to understand how the manufacturing industries try to contribute for the development of the nation. In this unit, we shall detailedly discuss what are the manufacturing industries, what do we have coming under the category of manufacturing industries, and then how does it contribute for the growth of a country to develop. Now we shall discuss about the importance of manufacturing. As I just now explained for you what is manufacturing and what are the importance of manufacturing industries in a country's development. First of all, in any country, before understanding the importance of manufacturing industries, we generally categorize the countries basing on the people getting employed in different sectors: the primary sector, the secondary sector, and the tertiary sector. If they are working in the primary sector and the most of the people are working in this first sector, like the basic sector like agriculture, farming, fishing, quarrying, all these people's life is insecure. These people's income is unstandardized. These people may get huge profits one time, sometimes they may fall down into zero. So this kind of fluctuating life will be present in the primary industry sector or primary sector. When we go on to the secondary sector, in the secondary sector we have small scale industries, large scale industries, medium scale industries. All these come under the category of secondary or this secondary sector. So in this sector, they will have a standardized salary structure. They will have a systematic payment for them. So there is no question of up and down. They will have the basic lifestyle which is equal in almost all the times. They do not have any seasonal effects. So moving on to third sector, that is like the service sector, where you have huge profits and the lifestyle will be extra luxurious and comforts. So that is called third sector. So primary, secondary and service sector. In which country more number of people are employed in the primary sector, that country is called undeveloped country or underdeveloping country. When we talk about the people, those who are employed like 30% in agriculture and 40% in the secondary sector, then it is called a developing country. When it is 30 and 40 ratio in secondary and the service sector and less than 20 to 10% in the primary sector, then that country is called a developed country. For example, if you take USA, in USA the people coming under the category of primary sector may be from 5 to 10%. In Australia it is 5 to 8%. In UK and Britain, where you have 5 to 10%. So these percentages will determine whether the country is developing or not. Now, when a country's people are employed in the secondary sector where our manufacturing industries fall in that, then automatically the country will be categorized into the developed country or the developing country rather than from underdeveloped to below developed country. So first of all, we need to understand what is the importance of manufacturing industries. Then we can understand how can it contribute for the country's development on a larger scale. Let us see here. What is the importance of manufacturing industries? I just made a list of all the important points which are required for us. First one, it is the backbone of development. As I just now explained for you, any country will be categorized into the underdeveloped, developing and then developed country basing on the people getting employed into that one. So a country is to be branded as a developed country or there is a development going on in that country, then the manufacturing industry should be very strong. Then only that country will be categorized into developing country or developed country. Next important point is, when this is a backbone acting, the next important point is we have, it reduces the dependency on agriculture. Moving on to the first point, it has to be branded as a developed country. The number of people working in the primary sector like agriculture, farming, quarrying, fishing should be very less. There should not be more number of people working in these fields where agriculturing is going on, farming is going on, field work is going on, or oil mining, quarrying, or fishing activities which are insecure life activities. These should be very less number of people employed. So automatically if we have development in the industrial side, more number of people will be shifting from the agriculture side to the developmental side. Why more number of people are on the agricultural side in India? We all know that in India we have 6.4 lakh villages. Out of the 6.4 lakh villages, nearly 6 lakh villages are 110% dependent on agriculture only. So in India nearly 70% of people depend truly on agriculture. So we need to shift that 70% towards the development side. That's why it reduces the dependency on agriculture. Third major point is, it also exports. When once the industry start to make some products, and if the product is very valuable and it's very attractive, it can meet the requirements of the international market, definitely that product can be exported to other countries. Once the product is exported from our country to the other country, then it automatically will fetch us some foreign income to our country. It gets some extraordinary income for our country. Any country needs the foreign reserves in order to maintain their economic balance. So manufacturing industries also play a very vital role in fetching foreign exchange for our country. Then fourth point what we have is, it tries to eradicate unemployment. We all know that in India the two major problems what we have is, one is unemployment, second one is poverty. Because of unemployment, people fall down to poverty. If there is a possibility of getting an opportunity, definitely people would try to achieve that opportunity and work hard and eliminate their poverty from the state of unemployment to employment status. So that's why it is very important to develop the manufacturing industries so that more number of the unemployed people will get a chance to work somewhere and to get some employment benefits and to stop themselves from falling into poverty. Next, it reduces unemployment and poverty. The next major point is it also brings down the regional disparities. What is a regional disparity? For example, we all know that India is a land where we have diversified physical settings. We have coastal plains, at the same time we have interior lands, we have hilly regions, we have plateau lands and everything. So, generally nearby the coastal plains means where we have the flow of the river water, where we have the possibility of getting water there agriculture is possible. There you can do agriculture and you can perform some activity instead of being unemployed. But when it comes to the interior lands where there is no agriculture available possibility because there is a scarcity of water. When there is scarcity of water, automatically it brings us to a situation where they cannot perform or do agriculture. When they cannot perform and do agriculture, if you are able to set up an industry there, when there is an agriculture possibility, people are getting employed in agriculture. When there is no possibility, people are not able to do anything there, then people start to migrate from that places and that region becomes completely dislocated people there. So it becomes a dry land. Instead of that, if you can establish any industry there where there is a possibility of getting employment opportunity for the people, where in agriculture you have opportunity naturally because there is availability of water on the coastal lands, the interior lands also will get the possibility because of the industries. When once the industries are established, people will get the employment opportunities there. Once they get employed, they start to settle down in that particular region and that region also will flourish equally with the coastal plain. So the regional disparity, lack of some physical nature of like water or something, that can also be subsided by having and establishing a manufacturing industry at a particular place where there is a low possibility of doing agriculture. So in this way we can reduce the regional disparities also. And the countries which are transforming the raw materials into very valuable products, that countries nowadays they are able to earn huge profits, which ultimately results in the prosperous state of a country. The countries which are now able to transform the raw materials into the valuable products by using their technological skills and understanding on the product, they are able to earn huge profits, which ultimately results for the prosperity of the country and development of the nation on a long stand. So manufacturing industries also help to countries to prosper on a larger scale. And it's not that only it prospers only the country which are not following agriculture. Even for agriculture also, the industries will cooperate with the agriculture or will be helping agriculture to become better. An example for this, prior to this we used to have canals which are supplying water for the irrigation facilities, but nowadays you have pipelines, we have motors to bring the water from far off places at an instant speed and getting everything possible. So agriculture also was made into a profitable stand because of the invention of these pipelines, these motors and all. So along with agriculture, industries also will go hand in hand, adding advantage to each other. Agriculture will add advantage to the industries, industries will add advantage to the agriculture. So it's not two exclusive waves like agriculture is going in a separate way and industries are going in a separate way, but it is hand in hand nature of the industries as well as agriculture to go together and finally cherish the country on a large scale. And last but not the least, once the agriculture is given the boost by the industries, agriculture started to produce in large profits, which is actually providing a boom not only for the non-agricultural aspirants but also for agriculture, and automatically the living standard of the farmers has also increased in the past 2 decades. That's how the manufacturing industries are contributing on a very large scale for the development of the country in particular and also to every individual in general. Now moving on to understand how can this be a global phenomena. When an industry is starting to produce something, definitely it has to produce on a very large scale. When it is producing in a very large scale, it has to maintain the standard of the quality also. We all know that today we are in a global village where every country is having a competition with the neighboring countries, not just aside to them, but also the countries which are thousands of kilometers away from them. So today the technology has brought the entire world into a situation where we are considered in competition with the global village of the entire planet. So we need to make any product which can sustain to the international standard, then automatically you get the opportunity to market your product in the international market in various countries, and that would result us to have a global standardization and also to attain global remarkable achievement on a larger scale. So any manufacturing industry should have to maintain the power of quality in regards to any product whatever they make equal to that of the international standards, then only we can achieve our best. So in short, the manufacturing industries contribute a lot for the development of the country. The backbone, it is considered as a backbone of the development. It reduces the dependency on agriculture. It gets exports done to the other countries. In return, we get fetching the foreign exchange for us, and then it eradicates untouchability and saves us from falling into poverty, brings down regional disparities. Countries which are now using raw materials into finished products are able to earn huge profits, resulting in the getting the achievement of prosperous state of the country. And agriculture industries move hand in hand, well as the others give boost also for agriculture industries. Other industries are supporting agriculture industry is supporting the other industries, so they both go hand in hand. Only thing what we need to remember is, whenever any industry is trying to make a product, that should always keep in mind that we are in the global competition and we should maintain the quality par with that of the international standard. That would definitely give an added advantage for the products in the international market. Now let us see here how the manufacturing industries are contributing for the growth of our national economy. We discussed about how a manufacturing industry can contribute for the development of a country. Now specifically, how is it contributing for Indian economy on a larger scale? Let us see here. The manufacturing industries are been contributing 17% out of the 27% of the contribution over the GDP. The gross domestic product of the entire industrial sector to the Indian economy is 27%, while in that the manufacturing industries are contributing 17%, while the rest 10% has been given contribution by the industries like mining, quarrying, electricity, and then gas, the natural gas. So the largest share we are getting from the manufacturing industries. It is a remarkable contribution from the manufacturing industries like a developing country like India, where it has been contributing nearly up to 15 to 17%, which is not very less. But some of the East Asian countries have achieved much higher than what our country is achieving. Some of the East Asian countries have achieved from 25% to 35%, which is almost double the growth rate what we are achieving in our country right now. And the countries are not so efficient or not so populous or not so lengthy in contribution or in competing with the Indian land, Indian resources, or the Indian stamina of the people, skilled workers, but still we are lagging behind them. A country which is very small also is able to achieve more development. So we need to concentrate more on this one So the efforts are being made to stabilize the economic growth sustainably for a decade so that we can achieve more and more targets. Like that, the trend has been shown in the previous decade, that is from 2001 to 2011. The trend of the previous decade has been nearly 7% of growth rate consistently, but now the target for the next decade is given from 10 to 12%, which is must, then only we can achieve our growth, because from 2003 there have been some companies which are showing the significant contribution from 7% above, that is 9 to 10%. So we need to concentrate on the manufacturing sector, because the countries which are in the East Asian countries, which are very close to our location, which are very similar to our kind of characteristic features what they have in regards to land or in regards to population, the diversified nature, are also achieve some huge amount of targets. For example, the country like China has achieved a rapid industrial growth in the past 2 decades. In the same way we have Singapore, Malaysia, all these countries are achieving more and more when compared to our country. So the efforts are being by the union governments to standardize the growth rate and also to put some special council to look after and to monitor the growth rate of India in the industrial sector. So in that regards, we have an establishment of National Manufacturing Competitiveness Council. We need to have a tough competition and we need to maintain that competition, then only we can achieve our success. The National Manufacturing Competitiveness Council has been established in order to look at the sidelines of how a country can get its achievement on a larger scale. That to a country like India, where it is achieving only 17%, while the other East Asian countries are able to achieve more than 25% to 35%. If it is 35% and ours is 17%, which means we are just in a half a mark in their achievements. So it has been a good achievement to establish the National Manufacturing Competitiveness Council to guideline the manufacturing industries and also to set the targets for them and make sure that they are able to achieve their targets. This is a very good remarkable step taken by the government of India. Now, industrial location. How is the industrial location fixed? Most of the times we generally don't find a common scenario where you find a place where which is satisfying all the requirements of a place to set up an industry. There are different natures. So it's a very difficult point to answer where is exactly the industrial point of location happens. Sometimes it is complex in nature, but most commonly factors which contribute for the location of industry are: first one, the raw materials, the availability of the raw materials in a huge amount or at very less cost. Either it should be available at very huge amount or it should be available at very less cost at that particular location. These two would be the determining factors in regards to raw material. Then available of land should be available for the construction of the industry, and we need labor to work, the skilled labor and the unskilled labor. Both categories of labor are required to work at very less cost or at the affordable cost of the organization. Then we need capital amount of investment to do that one. So when we talk about the capital amount of investment, most of the people do not like to purchase huge amount of land with huge amount of profits or like cash. Like when we talk about a place which is very costly, there we can't establish an industry. You need to buy a land at very less cost with the fixed capital, with a low amount of capital available. Then we need to have power, electricity. We need to have huge amount of electricity available in that particular region so that you can run your industry without any disturbance. If you don't have electricity available for us, that will automatically result in the production, and in the lower production of the industry will on a long run resulting in the stock out of the industry. So it is very important to have power. And from there, how far is the market? What is the transportation possibility? How can we transport our products and how far is the market? Do we have the market close by or do we have the market far away? These all factors will be the important factors, will determine some extent of where a factory can be established. These are the main determinants. These you may get a doubt. Does all the industries, all the factories do really follow all these when we have all these requirements or determinants at a particular place only, then an industry will be established? No. It is very rarely found that all these factors are found at a same place. You generally don't find raw materials available where a place is at very less cost, where the labor is available there. You may have capital everywhere, you can carry cash, but you don't find a land available everywhere wherever you need. You may get raw materials, then you may get power, you may not get market for your product. So it's very rare combination to have all the key factors at your level of cost or very closely available to you. So what is the other major determinant that will get a factory to be located at a place or an industry to located at that particular place? The simple logic is low cost. Yes, you may not get the raw material available to you, land may not be fixed at that place, labor may not be available there, skilled and unskilled, capital will be there with you, power and market. But if you can get all the raw materials, land, labor, power and market at very less cost, that would definitely give you a reason to establish your factory and industry there. And then now once the industry is established there, automatically the activity of movement will be generating there. People start to come and work there and move aside. When people are migrating and moving from one region to another region, automatically slowly the small shops will emerge. Once the small shops will emerge, later a group of families started to come and stay there. When group of families will start to come and stay there, a small society will start to emerge there. When small society will start to emerge, the connectivity from the nearby city to that particular place will establish a transport system there. Once the transport is established, people will start to establish their marketing facilities, then they will have their own shoppings, everything, hospitality, everything will develop there. So once an industry is established, they automatically get the urbanization facilities flowing into that particular region. So this flowing of the region may sometimes be happening in the vice versa also. Till now we discussed about the situation where an industry has been established, urbanization started to step into that place. Urbanization started to move into inside to the industrialization place. But most of the times industries would like to prefer to move into where urbanization is happening, or to try to get the more benefits because of the urbanization happened for the city. This accommodating the facilities of urbanization to betterment their industry or their factory is called agglomeration. In order to get your industry more clicked or more famous, if you establish an industry in a nearby city where this land, labor, power and this marketing are available for you, then automatically that system of establishing an industry in the nearby city or where urbanization is happening is called agglomeration. This agglomeration is simple, combination of urban facilities and industries together. So pre-independence period, does these people all follow the same rules and regulations what we discussed just now as the basic tenets or the main tenets to establish an industry? No, they have followed the different strategy because during that period we are under the colonial rule. So in order to export their products into nearby countries or their own country, they prefer to establish the places, industries at the places like Mumbai, Kolkata and Chennai. Though here we have availability of raw material and the other products, but here their prime location was, these all are the port regions where transportation is very easy from the port areas to their motherlands from which we are ruled by. So they have established this one. It's not only that they have established in Mumbai, Kolkata or Chennai, they have also established at the places which are interiorly and truly agricultural places. In interior hinterland places like Ahmedabad or in West Bengal, Hooghly region, where we have the agricultural hinterland where the raw material is available in bulk at very less cost, and they improve the transportation facilities. So there are various strategies to establish any factory at any location, but the final reason to establish any factory, or the key reason to establish any factory, is least cost, low cost, affordable cost. Whatever it may be, cost is a final word which will bring a factory to a particular place. So now let us have a brief recap. What are the major criteria that are required to establish a factory or an industry? The raw materials should be available for them at very less cost. The land should be at the affordable cost. The labor, skilled and the unskilled labor, should be available. Capital, huge deposit, should be present with us. Power, electricity, should be available. Marketing places should be available for them. All these together, getting at a single stroke, is an impossible task or very rare combination which we generally don't acquire at any place. Even though you don't get all these things at a single stroke, if there is a possibility to purchase all these things at a very low cost, that would be a very key reason to have the urbanization happening or to have the industrialization happening there. And along with, once the industry is set up, that would automatically leads to the growth and flow of the urbanization towards that particular city. Urbanization means establishing of the roads, establishing of the hospitality, establishing of the facilities of good transport, good health conditions, and all these things would definitely change the structure of the particular place where we are staying. And then sometimes industries would like to get benefits by having the urbanization facility nearby to that industry, so that people can come very close to them at very affordable cost. And the agglomeration is called, the meaning, urbanization facilities plus industries together, where it gives a boom to have larger agglomeration. And in the pre-independence period also, people have preferred to have their locations near Mumbai, Kolkata and Chennai, where though they are not the places or hubs of very low cost, but they have been places of shore regions where they can move their products outside of the country with very easy efforts. It's not only that they have established there, they have established also at various other places like agricultural hinterlands where the product is available at very less cost. So it's not very easy to determine what is the actual factor that can bring the factories to our location. It is only the key factor which can bring is least cost or the low cost affordable by the company to establish their own industry. So the main key factor which can establish an industry at any place is least cost or low cost. We shall now learn about the classification of industries. How are the industries classified? What are the criteria to classify an industry? What is the base to classify the different industries in different categories? You may get a doubt because a same industry can be coming under two categories. So kindly observe what is the determination that determines that particular industry to fall into both the categories. So be a little bit cautious and catch this one. Raw materials, main role of the industry, capital investment, ownership and corporate. So on a large, we have 5-point division of industries, how the industries are classified. Industries are classified into 5 major categories. Those 5 major categories are raw material based, main role based, capital based, ownership based and cooperative based. When we discuss about the raw material based industries, basing on the raw material from where we acquire the raw material to a particular industry, that industry is being branded on that. For example, if you get an industry's raw material from the agricultural fields or from the agricultural backdrop, then it is called agro-based industry. The industry which gets its raw materials from the agricultural points is called as agro-based industries. Example of agro-based industries are cotton industries, woolen textile industry, jute industry, tea industry. And the other category of division in the raw material industry is mineral industry. That means basing on the minerals which are available in the nature, if you are taking that minerals into as a raw materials in the industry, that industry is known as mineral based industry. That is examples iron and steel industry. So basing on the raw material what we get for an industry, that is been classified. If you are getting the raw materials from the agricultural point, that is called agro-based industry. If you are getting from the minerals, that is called mineral-based industries. Raw materials are again divided into agro-based industry and mineral-based industry. So, raw material industries are agro-based and mineral-based. Examples for agro-based are cotton, woolen, jute, tea. Examples for mineral industries are iron and steel. Moving on to the main role. When we talk about the main role means how it plays a key role in the development of a particular product. For example, let us take, in order to manufacture steel and all, we need some basic products. So, for every industry to construct its own base products, we have the basic industries known as, where it plays a basic role in any industry or basic in any other product to be generated. For example, like iron, steel, copper. In order to have iron, to have building construction, to have any other products, you need base, strong base. The strong base can be provided by iron industry. So, like that, the basic things are called basic industry. And when we talk about the consumers on larger scale, it can be consumed on large scale based on the consumer's satisfaction. That is called sugar industry, toothpaste industry, fans industry, where all are consumer related products. That is called consumer industry. So, the role, who is our target in order to produce the basic products or in order to produce the consumer products. So, basic product industries, consumer product industries are two major divisions. In basic product industries, we have the example of iron and steel, copper, whereas in the consumer product industries, we have the example of sugar, toothpaste and fans, etc. When we talk about the investment, the capital amount required for us to establish a factory, that capital amount, if it is less than 1 crore amount, which means nearly 100 lakhs or 10 million, which is more than 10 million amount of rupees, then it is called small scale industry. If the investment is more than 10 million or 1 crore, then it comes into the category of large scale industries. Less than 1 crore, small scale industries. Greater than 1 crore, large scale industries. Moving on to the basis of ownership. Who will be the owner of the factory? Who will be the owner of the industry? If the owner of the industry is public, means government will run those industries. That is called public industries, where the category, in this category we have the examples are Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited, Steel Authority of India Limited, BHEL and SAIL. The next category is private industries. In private industries, the private industry will be owned completely by private persons. For example, like Tata Industries of Steel and Cooperative Organization, Bajaj Industries, and Tata and Bajaj come under the category of examples of private scale industries. And moving on to the third major category, that is joint sector industry, where private and public partnership will be happening, where 50% of the public will be contributing and 50% from the private individuals it will be funded. So, that is called joint sector industries. So, in the ownership we have public, private and joint sector industries. And moving on to the last category, that is cooperative industries. What is a cooperative industry? In the cooperative industries, the owner, the producers and the workers will cooperate with each other and have distribution of the profit sharing between each other. That's why it is called as cooperative industry, where producer and the worker share with each other so that they earn huge profits. The example of this kind of industries are very few in India. Example, sugar industry in Maharashtra and coir industry in Kerala. This is a major categorization of the industries. The industries are broadly categorized into 5 major categories. First one, raw material. Second one, main role, what role they play in the industrial production. 3, capital. 4, ownership. 5, cooperative. In this raw material industry, we have the again categorization happening in the agro based industries, and mineral based industries. The examples of the agro based industries are cotton, woolen, jute, tea, whereas the mineral based industries are iron and steel. Moving on to the base role, where the basic industries coming under the category of iron and steel industry, copper. For the consumers we have sugar, toothpaste, fans, etc. In the capital, if the investment is more than 1 crore, it is called large scale industry. Less than 1 crore, it is called small scale industry. Ownership. When it comes to the ownership, we have public ownership, private ownership, joint sector ownership. In the public, we have BHEL and SAIL. In private, we have TISCO and Bajaj. Where in the joint sector, we have collaboration of public and private. When it comes to the cooperative sector, we have producers and workers coming together and cooperating with each other. The examples for this are sugar industry in Maharashtra and coir industry in Kerala. These are the major 5 category division of industries what we have in our country. Let us try to understand the left out category of production, that is based on the production, how much production does a product comes from the industry, and the product, if it is in the very strong content or the good which is coming out from the particular industry, if it is very strong in nature, then it is called heavy industry. For example, the heavy industry example is iron industry. So iron industry falls in 3 major categories. One is in the raw material industry, that is in the mineral based category. Next, we have the productivity base industry, where it gives a base for other industries to have it as their raw material, and now it is coming under the category of heavy industries. Now the other category is light industry. All the other electrical equipment what we use comes under this category of light, that is electrical equipment. Now moving on from the categories of industries to understand what is an agro based industry, and let us discuss few examples of agro based industries. The agro based industry is an industry where it derives its raw materials from the agriculture raw materials. So the industry which gets its raw materials from agriculture is called agro based industry. The examples of the industries which are associated to agro based industries are cotton industry, jute industry, silk industry, woolen industry, sugar industry, and the edible oil industry. And among these all industries, the textile industry has got a significant place in the Indian context. When it comes to our country, the textile industry plays a very vital role. The production of the textile industry has been going up in economy to up to 14%. The industrial production is the only industry where the production has been consistently growing up to 14%, and nearly 35 million people are employed directly. The specialty of textile industry is 35 million people are employed directly, and this is the second largest industry after agriculture, where such a huge number are deriving their employment opportunities from the textile industry. And moving on to understand about the foreign exchange, we are getting nearly 24.6%, which means nearly 25% of the foreign exchange of our country is derived from this textile industry, and then 4%, it contributes nearly 4% for the entire country's gross domestic product. And still we have special significance for our textile industry, that is the textile industry is the only industry which is self-reliant. It is not dependent on any other correlated industries. It is a self-reliant industry and it completes the chain by itself. That is the other special significant point about the textile industry. So agro-based industries, the industries which derive their raw materials from the agricultural fields or agricultural backdrop is called agro-based industries. The examples for agro-based industries are cotton, jute, silk, woolen, sugar and edible oils. And the special significance of the textile industry in regards to Indian background is it contributes nearly industrial production for 14%, 35 million people are employed directly, and it is the second largest industry after agriculture, textile industry. Foreign exchange, it contributes up to 25% of the entire India's foreign exchange, 4% of the country's GDP, and it is the only industry where it is self-reliant and completes the entire chain without having link with the other industries. So the second largest industry provides employment for larger scale people is the textile industry. That's how it is making a remarkable contribution from the agro based industries corner. Let us now learn about the cotton textile industry, how it was developed from the prior Indian independence to the modern day. In the ancient period also we have a good quality of cotton available in our country. So as the time passed on, the hand spinning mills got replaced with the handloom mills. But after the 18th century, these hand spinning mills and handloom mills are being dominated by the power loom. They started to get a stiff competition during the colonial period from the England's mill cotton, because the mill production is in very large in number, and the people those are working in India used to produce everything within their own efforts at very less available cost, because here the machine does more work when compared to the person, and they used to produce in bulk in amount, and that's why we could not face the competition, and they gave a stiff competition, and it became a big setback for the Indian cotton during that period. Though Indians have good capacity and good skill to make cotton and fine quality of cotton, but still we were resisted with the bulk amount which we got from the Manchester machinery and inputs of the mills which were located there. Moving on to the historical background, in 1854 the first textile mill was established in Mumbai. In 16th century we have seen the cotton being exported from India to the other countries, but it got break during this period. And after the Second World War, during the wars period, the economy of Britain came down, and that gave a boost for the Indian cotton industries to regenerate themselves. And now to understand our capability of production, in India we have nearly 1600 cotton mills located, and these are being 80% owned by the private individuals, and only the 20% come under the hands of the public industry sector. And most of the industries are located in the parts of Gujarat and Maharashtra even today. But during the colonial period also, we have most of the industries initially got established in Gujarat and Maharashtra. What are the factors that have contributed for the establishment of Gujarat and Maharashtra as a prime locations for cotton industries? The major factors are raw cotton available, and then market at very close by, transport facilities, and then also available of less costly cheap labor nearby places from Maharashtra and the other states of Rajasthan, where people used to migrate to the nearby states to get their employment. And the farmers, workers, cotton ball pullers, spinning, weaving, dyeing, packing, this kind of employment started to generate more in Gujarat and in Maharashtra because of the location of the cotton industries, because we need farmers to do the farming, workers to work in the fields, cotton ball pullers, this is a special job which came only after we have the cotton mills got established, and spinning to spin the machines, weaving to do the cotton weaving, dyeing, putting the color for that one, packing a finished product, and then in this way it has provided many kind of occupations which are not known to the Indians till that time. Even though they don't know that it can be given employment for them. They used to do only in their own charaka and all, but now it has become a very large scale product of work where you can earn something by doing this work. That's what Gandhiji has rightly remarked and focused always on spinning the cotton weaving machine. And the countries which buy cotton or which import cotton from India are Japan, USA, UK, Russia, France, East Asian countries like Nepal, Sri Lanka, and also the Afro countries which have started to take cotton, which increase the market of India, and the quality of cotton which we get from India is very good quality and the finest quality in the world. So this has created a wide market for the Indian cotton a lot, and that is the reason why India has established many spindling mills and all. After China, India is the only country which has 34 million spindles, standing at the second place in the world in production, Though India has given occupation for many people, India has been given employment opportunities for many people, but the contribution in the worldwide market of the Indian product, especially the cotton textile, is only 4%, which is still very less according to the Indian capacity, because Indians are having nearly 34 million spindles which can produce a very large amount, but we are facing a very stiff competition from the international scenario of the products what we are getting, and they are par in good product of quality when compared to us. And the other deadlocks which are hindering us to get the development is power supply, machinery which needs to be upgraded, and also we have this shortage of the skilled labor who can produce more amount of output. In this way we face many difficulties, but still cotton textile industry is a very fast growing industry in the Indian industry, that too in the agro based category of industries. Let's have a brief recap of this one. In the ancient period also India had the cotton textile industry, but it was in a very small scale industry. During that period the machinery which was used was hand spinning and handloom industry, and later in the 18th century we got the technology got implemented for that one, so it added on for having power loom machinery coming into our country, and then we could not face the stiff competition what we got from England during the industrial period or colonialization period, because machinery has been to be competed with the human work. Man can produce maximum 10 a month, but machines used to produce hundreds per day, so we could not able to meet the competition and available at very less cost, where man-made goods are costly and made it skillfully, but people would like to prefer to go for the less affordable cost items. So in this way it gave a big bang for the handmade goods or the Indian products in competition with the England products. And then now moving on to understand how it got in India established the textile mills. In 1854 at Mumbai the first textile mill was established, and later now today we have nearly 1600 cotton mills, accommodating nearly 80% of them are under the control of the private individuals, while 20% coming under the government individuals. And today most of the industries are located in Gujarat and Maharashtra. It's not only today, way back from the industrialization period or the colonialization period also, we have many industries got established at the prime locations of Gujarat and Maharashtra. What are the factors that have contributed for the growth of industries at these prime locations of Gujarat and Maharashtra? The factors which might be contributing for the growth are raw cotton, market availability, transportation facilities, and the labor available at very less cost, the skill and the unskilled labor. It does not only provide opportunity for these people, but also gave a new chapter for different kinds of jobs which have emerged here, like the farmers coming in, workers, cotton ball pullers, spinning, weaving, dyeing workers, packing workers have emerged, and like this it has given a new chapter, new categories of jobs for the people in and around the industry. This has provided a large scale employment by giving various kinds of jobs for them. And the countries which export from India the cotton are Japan, USA, UK, Russia and France, while in the Southeast Asian countries are Nepal and Sri Lanka. The Afro countries are also acquiring cotton from India. So it proves that India is having a very large market. India is the second largest country after China, having 34 million spindles located in India. And moving on to understand what is the contribution of India in the worldwide trade, in its contribution in the percentages, we have only 4% in the world contribution, which is regardingly very less when it compares to the capacity of India. And the deadlocks or the hindrances what India is facing is the power supply, lack of sufficient amount of power supply, and the lack of the latest equipment machinery which needs to be upgraded according to the needs. And the most important contribution is we need more and more skilled labor, because you need to produce more and more amount of output with less number of time period available for us. So these are some of the hindrances which are blocking India to have a stiff competition from the other parts of the world, but still India is fighting for our place, and India is standing at second place, which is having more number of spindles located, fine quality of cotton is produced from the Indian region. So cotton textile industries are also contributing on a very large scale to make Indians proud and also to provide employment for larger section of people, not only in agriculture but also in the textile industry. We are providing large number of industry opportunities as well as employment opportunities for various people at various corners of India. Let us now learn about the jute textile industries. As we discussed prior to this about the cotton textile industries, now we shall learn about the jute textile industries. In the jute textile industries, a significant contribution has been from the Indian side. India, we have the largest producing raw jute in the world. India stands in the second place only after Bangladesh, where most of the Indian fields or Indian mills, 3/4 of the Indian mills have been shared to Bangladesh when the partition happened between India and Pakistan. Prior to the establishment of Bangladesh, Bangladesh was a part of East Pakistan. When India and Pakistan got bifurcated, the division, then most of the mills of India went to the sides of Eastern Pakistan, which today got emerged as Bangladesh. This is one of the main reasons why Bangladesh is today standing in the #1 position. Next, moving on to the facts. In India, we have nearly 70 jute mills in India which have got established at the prime location of river Hooghly. Most of all the jute mills are established in an area nearby to Hooghly river with a length of 98 kilometers and with a width of 3 kilometers width. In that rectangular region, we find huge number of these jute mills. The basic reason why we have those many jute mills established is the factor that we have good availability of water transport at very less cost. We have good connectivity of not only water transport, road transport, rail transport, etc. We also have huge availability of raw jute in that prime location. We have availability of cheap labor from the nearby states of Bihar, then the other parts of Orissa and this Chhattisgarh, all these states. And also we have urban center Kolkata, which is not only having a marketing place but also financial transactions of banking and all also added for the region to get more number of jute mills located in the prime location. The first jute mill in India was established in Kolkata at a place called Rishra in the year 1859. This is the first jute mill established in India. And then we have the contribution of jute textile industry on a very larger scale to the Indians. That is, nearly 2.61 workers are working, while 40 lakh farmers, either small scale or marginal farmers, have been a significant contributors in this regard. They are directly dependent on the jute industries. The countries which have trade links or purchase jute from India are, we are facing a stiff competition from these people, that is from Bangladesh, Brazil, Egypt and Thailand, where their jute is also in competition with India. And the government policy of India, which made it mandatory to have packing in the jute bags, has given a boost for the jute industry packing, and this jute packing has made in 2005 as mandatory, which has an added advantage for the jute industry to flourish more. And the competitors of India or the purchasers of India are USA, Canada, UAE, Russia, UK and Australia. These are the major importers of India's jute products. And moving on to the other special advantage of jute is that today the growing appeal of environmental friendly approach, environmental green revolution and all, we discuss about the biodegradable items. So being a biodegradable item, jute has acquired international appeal. So most of the people are moving to have jute bags rather than plastic bags or some other bags. So this also has opened an international opportunities for the jute to have its wide share approach in the market. So let's have a brief look why jute industry is flourished in India on a larger scale. India is the largest producer of raw jute and India stands second place after Bangladesh. Prior to the establishment of Bangladesh, Bangladesh was a part and parcel of Eastern Pakistan. When India and Pakistan got bifurcated, 3/4 of the India's entire jute mills got moved on to the side of Pakistan, where it later emerged as Bangladesh. And 70 jute mills are established in India. The first jute mill was established in 1859 in Kolkata at Risra region, where most of all the jute mills are established in and around surrounding rectangular region of Hooghly River belt, which is a length of 98 kilometers and a wide of 3 kilometers width. The factors which contributed for the establishment of the jute industry in Hooghly River region is the cheap water transport, good connectivity not only by water, rail and road, raw cotton or raw jute available at very less cost, cheap labor available from the nearby states, urban centers of Kolkata, banking, financial, marketing, everything has been done. Directly we have 2.61 lakh workers working in the industries of jute industries, whereas 40 lakh farmers are contributing for the jute industry. The competitors of Indian jute are Bangladesh, Brazil, Egypt, Thailand, where we are facing a stiff competition from them. But the policy of India, which made it mandatory to have jute packing, has given a boost for jute industry to re-boom itself, and our Indian important jute imports, the other countries, or India exports jute to USA, Canada, UAE, Russia, UK and Australia, while the appeal for the international market has been made to use the global biodegradable items. So the jute has that nature of having biodegradable item. So most of the countries now started to prefer to have jute packing rather than having this plastic packing. So this also added an advantage for the jute to be having an international market, and an appeal to all the countries in the world to use jute bags has given a boom for the Indian jute mills to grow larger and further and to increase their production. This is a contribution of jute industry to India development.